He's always done his process his
that.
own way, whether it be from Candy to how he handled his business over Combine weekend. How do we feel about the way Caleb Williams' weekend went? Do we feel better or worse after the Combine, Peter?
It was quite a roller coaster of a week. We started off the show Monday, and I came out here with Tom Pelissero, and I was like, I'm hearing he's not going to do his medicals. No player in the history of the Combine had denied doing medicals. It's something that you see maybe in the NBA with a select few. And we also heard he was coming in a day later than the rest of the quarterbacks. And we heard he wasn't looking to compete and throw. And there was already the narrative forming that this guy might be just too big a star for the Combine, and his own head might be too big a star for the Combine. Let me get to the Combine. I'm not going to say other quarterbacks did this, that, whatever. He was there. He talked to teams. He talked to the media on Friday. And I watched him all day Saturday like a hawk. I'm watching him just here, like I'm just staring. Cameras or not, this guy was really, really likable and super pleasant. I went up to him and spoke to him on Friday night, and this is a story no one gets. Friday night, the DBs are working out. I'm like, why is Caleb Williams here? Oh, my friend is working out in the defensive back drills. No other quarterbacks were there watching the DB drills. He was there hanging out to watch his buddy at USC compete. Then he was there with Rome. I think Bears fans are melting. Like, is there a chance we can get both of those guys? I'm not carrying water for Caleb Williams. I don't know who his people are. He doesn't have an agent. I don't know his business people. There's no win for me here. I put this tweet out as I was leaving on Saturday night, and I was leaving the building. Last player to leave the field Saturday night after the drills, Caleb Williams, hung and said goodbye to all the folks who ran the drills and worked the event. He went up to all the stadium employees, shook their hands, said thank you. He's hanging around. Is it nothing? Maybe. Is it something? Maybe. I don't want to paint a narrative that this guy is some diva. I'm not even going to talk to people. Oh, talk to my person here. Give my publicist your number. He was cool. He was approachable, and I thought that Kimmy Chex clip with him with the sour candies, as silly as it was, actually showed he's got a likable side to him more than the narrative that's been painted that this guy is just in some other universe and is too good for the NFL.
Peter, some clarity on the medical part of it, I think you should tell people, because this was important for me to hear, because I was trying to fight that judgment off a little bit as the stories were coming out last week. He will participate in medicals as he meets with teams, and he'll disclose that.
And he'll determine which teams he wants to do the medical with. Yeah. The 23rd team in the draft does not need my medicals. That's his theory. The 27th team in the draft does not even. Top teams will get my medicals. We'll do it all. I'll meet with them, but I don't think my information needs to be public for all those folks.
You believe he wants to be a Chicago Bear?
I do.
Yeah.
I think he wants to be the first pick in the draft.
That's what I got.
Okay. Well, he may not be a Bear then, but he may be the first pick.
I think he wants to be the first pick in the draft, and if the Bears are there, I think the Bears would be a more than, and it's funny because they asked him, they're like, what makes you want to be a Chicago Bear? And I thought he was going to go into Walter Payton and talk about, I grew up in the Bears with Ditka, and he was like, they were a 7-10 team. They were competitive last year. I think it gives us a quick chance to win. Like, he's not doing the thing that we kind of do this with the Bears, when everyone just goes right down memory lane. And it's like, talk about the fridge. Like,
he doesn't remember that stuff.
No. Doesn't remember it and wasn't faking it.
Yeah.
Didn't study. It's easy to Google it and be like, I'm going to mention Gail Sayers and Dick Butkus. He wasn't doing that. He was like, they were a good team last year. I'd like to join them.
I like that.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with all of that, because I look at Caleb Williams, and you said it, and I think that's a great story to tell. You were there. So for people like me that you're just at home and you're watching it on television, we get the Kimmy Chex bit, but we have no idea what he's doing, because we see that he's not doing the medical, he's not doing drills. So it's just like, well, what is Caleb Williams doing down there at the Combine? And you talked about the interview process and the medicals and all of those things. That, to me, was the most important thing, for him to be there and to meet with Chicago and talk to them, and for them to get him in the room, put him on the board, and ask him all of those questions. And the likability is so important to me, because you're going to draft a quarterback. Let's just say Chicago decides to go with Caleb Williams at number 1. You're getting rid of Justin Fields, a quarterback that it seems like a lot of guys in the locker room like him. So when Caleb Williams walks in, not only do you have to perform, but when you're walking in, those veterans, those young guys, they have to take a liking to you and appreciate you for coming in and treating those guys a certain way. You can get into all the NIL money and endorsements and all of those different things that he had while he was in college, and you can just start to judge him not knowing exactly who he is as a person because he lives in a penthouse or he drives a certain car. But what was so cool to me is you look at the interactions that he had, and you mentioned that he's there Friday night and he's watching his friend as a DB. I look at him during the media portion where Brendan Rice is up there in the podium, and I want you guys to take a listen to what Caleb Williams went out of his way to go and talk to his former teammate.
Right, somebody got a question. Hey, how does it feel to be Jay Rice's son? I have another question after that. Yeah.
Man, it feels even better to be a teammate of Caleb Williams.
Okay, all right. My second question is, I'm gonna back this guy. Why should they draft you as a fantasy player? Should you be wide receiver 1, or should you be the flex player?
I should be wide receiver 1, man. Obviously, me and you, shoot. What we have 45 catches and 12 touchdowns. That's unheard of. Yeah. That's something like that, man. Yeah. I'm a pretty damn good quarterback.
All right. Appreciate it. Have a nice day.
So he's not participating at the combine. He's not doing the drills or any of those things. So he could just be showing up to the combine, doing his meetings with certain teams, and then going back and being to himself and staying kind of out of the limelight. That wasn't the case. He steps up and he's asking his teammate a question. To me, that goes to show the relationship that he has with the guys within the locker room. I think that's something that's going to be very important to wherever he goes, because you mentioned it. He said somebody asked him about, would you want to go to Atlanta? I was like, if they trade up and they go number 1, yeah. He wants to be the first pick. And you want a guy that wants to be in that spotlight and wants that pressure on him.
You got something? No, I was picking up your nonverbals.
I was like, this is nodding.
I agree.
It's good. No, it is a good take, especially the part about if Fields is done with and the Bears. And we love Fields. Who is this kid? I think to that point, though, this is heavy weighs the crown. There's a lot of things that the rank and file football fan may be annoyed about with Caleb Williams. First of all the reports about not doing this, not doing that, people don't like that.
Yep.
The idea that he didn't want to be a Bear, true or not, people hear that and they judge him for that. Also, you mentioned it, the NIL thing, this is a new world, this guy's wealthy, he drives this car allegedly, has this house allegedly, there may be sort of a disdain for that amongst football fans. I think he showed up and he's right on that line. I think he's confident, and he should be. Maybe just one foot in cocky, but of course he should be cocky. I think when he talks to the media, I think he looks people in the eye. I think he gives real answers. I don't think this is this planted thing from some sort of publicist, say this, don't say this. Seems authentic to me. The answers are a little bit confident, which I like. What do you expect this guy to be? Lives in LA, plays for SC, is a star quarterback.
Made $10 million last year.
Come on, made $10 million last year. I mean, Brock Purdy made $200,000. You know what I'm saying? He should be confident and cocky. I don't know if he's going to have it on the field or not. I know he's talented as hell, but you can't expect him to show up and just be hat in hand golly gee, it's so great to be here in Indianapolis. He's from LA, all right? He gets it a little bit. He lives in LA. So the fact is, if you think he's too cocky or whatever, fine. I'm not going to talk you out of it. When he's actually stepped up and had to answer questions, I thought he did it really well. And I thought he looked people in the eye and was honest. And we're going to talk a lot about this guy. We're going to get a lot from him. I like how he showed up in Indianapolis. I do.
I liked how he towed the line, too, specifically on Saturday, Peter, and you had a good vantage point. You were up on the concourse looking down, so you could see kind of the nature of everyone milling around and interacting with each other. Watching him field side with the receivers that were working out and the other quarterbacks and stuff, there is a way that he could have showed up and been a distraction almost and made it about him and almost felt like, I'm not working out, but I still want people to look at me. And he wasn't like that whatsoever. He was participatory in a non-selfish way, if that makes sense. And that's what you want out of a guy that's one of 53. He might be the number 1 overall pick wherever he does go, but you want a guy who can lead with his nonverbals and with his verbals, have confidence, have cockiness, I don't care what you call it, but I thought the way he was present, because there were other players who may have participated in other parts of the week yet didn't show up, and I was feeling their absence almost. So I wanted to see what he was like amongst everybody.
I mean, Jaden Daniels didn't show up.
Yeah.
So, okay. I mean, that was
But he spoke, and that wasn't a lasting memory, though.
We made a big deal about the fact that Caleb missed a medical. Jaden didn't show up to the drill. So you could have whatever one you want. One thing with it was interesting. Penix was throwing in that group, and he's whipping it around, and Caleb is 10 feet away just watching Penix, and everyone going, oh! And I'm like, does the competitor in him want to just say, you know what, screw it, let's throw? And
Was he nodding or was
yeah,
he shrugging?
he was in and doing he was giving him love. All that.